What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the most surprising game of 2023. So here's what we're going to do. On my main channel, Podcast Now, I did almost a 2-hour Game of the Year award show, much like the Game Awards. I did it for Podcast Now, and you could check that out. I have many categories. I think we had like 13 or 14 in all, but I wanted to take maybe some of them, make them condensed videos, not repeat, not like clip them, but just maybe talk a little bit more about these games and maybe even throw in some games that I didn't even nominate behind me here, right? So here's the graphic I made for this. Hopefully you guys like it, but I want to go over this. I think, games that are surprising, this year, we had several of them, and I guess to say what this is, right? So surprising to me is the difference, the gap between what you thought it was going to be and then what it actually was, right? That's what makes the game the most surprising. Now, let's start actually with one game that is not on this, this backdrop behind me, and that is Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars, to me, could have very well been in this list. In fact, I got to be honest, if Valhalla over here wasn't, didn't come out as a shadow drop thing, then I do think Sea of Stars probably would have made it. I guess in my defense of why Sea of Stars isn't here, that was a game that was pitched to me when it came out, right? It came out, and everybody's saying, Alex, you got to play this game. This is a Game of the Year kind of contender. And when I played the game, and I did a video on Podcast Now Back to the Past, I did a whole review on it. You could check that out if you want as well. The game's awesome. The game is excellent, and it is a Game of the Year contender. So the reason I guess Sea of Stars, you could say it, right? Because in a way, it did come out of nowhere. Going into this year, if you would have told me Sea of Stars is a top 10 game of the year, I would ask, what is Sea of Stars, right? So there is a surprise element there. However, considering I didn't play it when it first came out, everybody said how good it was, I went in with the expectation that this was a very good game. Now, that actually made the game almost have to reach a higher bar, versus if I just did play it when it first came out, then, oh my God, I would have been expecting nothing and gotten an excellent game, right? Instead, I had no idea it even existed. It comes out, it crushes it, sales, critically, commercially, everything. And then people tell me how good it is, and then I play it, and it is as good as people said, right? So in that way, it's not actually surprising. It is surprising in I didn't know this game existed until when it released, basically when it released, right? So that's probably the only, racking my brain for games, other games that would maybe make it. Maybe Texas Chainsaw could maybe be another honorable mention. I thought that game could be very good, but I wasn't for sure. The game is excellent. I really like Texas Chainsaw. I think it is one of, if not the best of the asymmetrical horror type games that are out. I think it's up there. So that could probably be another one. Beyond that, I think that's probably where I would leave it, to be honest with you. So let's talk about these 5 behind me. God of War Valhalla. Surprising in the sense that, well, again, a shadow drop. Now, this is kind of the opposite of Sea of Stars, right? Played it when it came out, actually heard some good things about it, and then played it a day or two after. But this game came out of nowhere. We knew there was rumors of DLC. There's rumors of DLC, so I did keep my eye on it, but I didn't know, for sure what it would be. To be a roguelike game, it's incredible. It's a very good roguelike game. And then, on top of that, I guess the surprising element beyond, it is a better roguelike game than you would think it would be, the story. There actually is a considerable element of story and more themes and more of Kratos and Mimir, and they do a great job, overwhelmingly, right? It's a really good thing. So, just seeing it even at the Game Awards, it's like, oh, okay, this is just a fun little side mode, right? Valhalla, you go through the waves and you build your character up, and that is what it is, but there's actually even more to it. So in that way, pretty darn surprising. Number 2, Hi-Fi Rush. This game, I have a thing, if you can't tell, I have a thing for shadow drops. So Hi-Fi Rush, I believe, was announced the day they dropped it, right? And I played it the next day. Or maybe, I don't remember, I got to go back in the time machine. I think they announced it and they said it drops the next day. Maybe that's how it was. It would drop the next day. Because I played it, I tried to play it as quickly as I could when it came out. And for a game that you didn't know about 48 hours before it released, spectacular, right? That is surprising. But then on top of it, it is one of my favorite games of the year. It is one of the top 3, maybe even top 2 game of the year. So to be a game that came from nowhere, and even when you see it, even when I saw the trailer, I thought, oh, this could be something very cool. The art style immediately got me. But for it to be my favorite game for a long time and then only be beaten kind of recently, massive, right? The gap between what I thought it would be and what I got was enormous. Now, you can't see it, but Baldur's Gate is behind me here. Baldur's Gate 3, so the reason you would put this here, right, is probably, again, you think of the gap of what you expect versus what you get. Baldur's Gate is one of the best games of the year. And now for me, I haven't played Baldur's Gate that much. You got to be upfront and honest with these kind of things, right? No, I've only played about 12 or so hours. Now, I've loved every second of it. Came out, I'm a busy bee. I try to like bounce around with all these freaking games that come out. I won't make too many excuses, but I do intend to play it all the way through. And I think if I did play it all the way through, it would maybe win this and also maybe win more awards that I did on my main channel. But I absolutely understand why it is an incredible game. It pushes the medium forward. I covered that whole debacle where it seems like people in the game industry were like almost mad it was so good, right? Where they have to like raise the bar and they didn't really want to do that. It was a really weird situation, but this game is excellent. I just want to make that known. Although I've played little of it, I can see why, and I even liked what I played, right? So in terms of surprise, well, I don't know how many people thought it would be as big as it was. I don't know leading into it if you said it would almost sweep at the Game Awards, right? Like, could it do that? Well, you would say, I don't know. And I'm not a Divinity Original Sin fan either. Now, actually, I think, did I get the second game? Like, when all this stuff was popping off, I really want Divinity 2. So I do plan to kind of go back through their backlog or their catalog of games. So it even did that. Not only did it make me want to play Baldur's Gate, which one day I'll go back to and I'll finish, it made me want to play the old games that they made as well. So next up, there's a story here I want to say because I want to give this game the credit it deserves. So you'll see it over. It's reversed because of the stupid green screen. This game is called The Wreck, and I gotta say biasness in the way that they reached out to me, this game and this team, because they saw I did a video on What Remains of Edith Finch. Now, I think Giant Sparrow, who made The Unfinished Swan and What Remains of Edith Finch, I think they are one of the best developers on planet Earth. They don't make enough games. They need to, announce their next game already, but it's an incredible studio and incredible games. They pitched me that because they said, hey, we saw you did a video on it, and this game is kind of like it. And I said, oh, shoot, I'm in. So long story short, they did give me a code. I'll disclose all that info. And I think, I don't think I got a code for anything. Crash, I did. Crash, they gave me a code, and The Wreck, they gave me a code just for legal purposes or whatever. But look, I mean, going into this game, I didn't know what to expect, right? I thought, okay, well, maybe like a discount like What Remains of Edith Finch. This game is phenomenal. And I'm dead honest. It's not because they gave me a code. They didn't pay me anything. They gave me a code. This game, and for people that don't know, this game actually did kind of terrible in terms of sales. The studio, I think maybe the head of the studio, actually released a pretty I felt bad, a depressing letter where this game sold like a couple thousand, maybe even less than a couple thousand units, not made $1,000, it sold a couple thousand units, and that's it. So, is this a promotion for the game? It can be if you want it to be. No, honestly, on PC, on Steam, the game's $10. On console, it's $20. I think it's not in terms of gameplay. It's a point and click kind of thing, okay? The story is excellent. The voice acting is actually really good as well. That's its strength. So, a long way of saying the game, this is another one that really did come out of nowhere. Nobody has heard of this game. Nobody has played this game. And I say that with all respect, like kind of just aware of the situation that it's in. This is a game that really nobody cares about. But you kind of should, because it actually is extremely, extremely good. Did it win this? I got to honestly say it did not win this category here, but it is absolutely worth your time. In case you're wondering, I actually did do a review on it somewhere. Podcast Now, maybe. If you search The Wreck review Podcast Now, you might find it. You could see more gameplay of it because I recorded myself playing it. All that jazz. Okay, last one, Crash Team Rumble. It's a great game. And honestly, this was an arc that I think you kind of had to see from me to understand where I'm coming from. And I'm not saying, go back and watch the last year of my content, but you could if you want. Going into this year, going into Crash Team Rumble, I had is it reservations? Is that the right term? I was excited, and I thought maybe it could work. But honestly, if you watch those videos, I was very skeptical, as I think I should have been. I wouldn't actually change, how I said those things. I thought, could this work? Yes. Did anybody ask for this? No. Do we even want it? Debatable, right? And I really just didn't know. But when this game came out, and I said it over and over, I was like apologizing to people. This game rocks. And I almost feel bad because, okay, in all honesty, should Crash actually be this kind of game? No. I don't think people asked for it. I don't think people played it. I don't think this game sold and performed well at all. I really don't. Now, why I feel bad is because the game is actually addicting. It's fun. I'm not into like live service-y kind of games. And I mean, you pay I think $40 for Crash, and they have, the battle passes and stuff, but it keeps you engaged. It's got so many cosmetics. They've constantly added characters. They've added maps. They've added modes. They've done the live service-like thing. I'm not even a fan of that genre, and I love it. Now, it did get old. Like, I haven't played it I played it for Spyro. Before that, I didn't play it for a while, but like the first month and a half that this game was out, came out in June, probably for the first easily month, all I did was play. I probably PlayStation, I guess, would maybe tell me, right? I think I put like 50, 60 hours into no joke, 50 to 60 hours into Team Rumble. Now, what I want to lead into, maybe I'll just do it now. The winner, drum roll, please. The winner of this category is Crash. So we can keep talking about Crash just for a little bit more, and then I'll let you guys go, or you can, of course, click off anytime you want. That's why it wins. Honestly, it's why it wins. This is, I'm looking behind me here. Like Hi-Fi Rush, I played once. I probably will replay it in the future. It's not 50 hours. God of War, Baldur's Gate, unfair maybe in the degree that I haven't played it all the way through. The Wreck, short but sweet, game, really good. Crash, for as vocally, not against it, but as vocally skeptical as I was, and I think skeptical is the right word, the game works. The game is fun. The game is engaging. The game literally does Crash as a battle. I don't even know what genre you even want to put this game in, right? But this battle royale of, these characters that have their own kind of personality and traits and ability, or like move sets, right? For a game to do that and be Crash, like you would think it wouldn't work, but it does. Now, did anybody play it? Not really. Like there were bots literally the first day. When this game came out, there were bots populating matches, and it's a 4v4 game. That's not good. That's not good at all, okay? And that's not any disrespect to the developers or anything. I'm giving them the award. Most surprising. I didn't know how this game would be. Turns out I'm going to do a video eventually on ranking every game I played this year. I don't know the number. I've probably played at least 35 to 40 games that released this year. Crash has got to be in the top half. I don't want to say it's in the top 10. It's probably not. I don't know exactly the number it would be, but this is a top, an above average. If I rank all of the, say, 40 games I played, would this be 20 or higher? It probably would. And I think that's outstanding, because if you told me that going into this year, it would have been shocking. I don't know if I would have believed you. Maybe, because again, there was maybe something there, but you never know, because it could have been god-awful. It could have been one of the worst games. I could have made rant videos just tearing it to shreds, and I did that for other games, but I didn't do it for Crash because it didn't deserve it. It deserves praise. Weirdly enough, it deserves praise. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you like this, let me know. I guess the engagement, the views and the likes and all that stuff. We can maybe do this for the other categories that I did. Put a more discussion-based video on this channel. Talk about it, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.